Our next guest is one of the toughest guys in the NBA. He was a part of the Warriors championship team this season, which was his 14th year in the league. Matt Byrnes, welcome to Undisputed.
Welcome.
Good to have you. You and Snoop, a friend of the show, have your 4th annual Athletes versus Cancer flag football game on Sunday here in Southern California. Can you tell us about it?
It's the 4th year we got together. We took a break last year because of the Olympics, but we got former teammates. I got Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Chris Brown. We got a lot of different characters coming out, and it's for a great cause, so we're excited about it.
And I assume you're a better tight end than this guy ever thought about.
Man, I grew up watching Shannon. I'm a little older, so I grew up watching Shannon and love his body of work.
Who's the quarter? I want to know who the quarterbacks are.
We got to get quarterbacks. We've had Warren Moon in the past. We've had Kurt Warner. We've had Matt Leinart. So we're still looking for our last 2 quarterbacks. So we're gonna find them now.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into the latest drama with LeBron and Kyrie Irving. Last month, LeBron posted a video on Instagram of himself in the gym rapping with a newly shaved head. Yesterday, a video was posted of Steph Curry mocking LeBron at Harrison Barnes' wedding. Next to Steph was Kyrie, who was laughing while Curry mocks LeBron. Matt, what's going on here?
I just think it's July, so it's a little slow right now for news. We live in a day and age where you don't do anything that's not going to be seen. And, knowing Steph and knowing what kind of character he has, it's all in fun. But when you see it and then you put Kyrie in the mix, and I mean, it's a recipe to be headlines in the morning.
But they are obviously treating a guy who just averaged a triple-double in the NBA Finals, first time ever, a guy who was in his 7th straight NBA Finals, with not a lot of respect. And they know it's got potential to get posted.
See, I don't think they were looking at it in that depth. You're at a wedding, maybe a couple drinks, a couple shots, people are having a good time. And I don't really think you look at the depth of, all the time of what you're actually doing. And like I said, knowing Steph, I don't think there was any, angry intent behind it or anything trying to start trouble. I just think, he likes to have fun and people mock him and he laughs at it. So I just think it was along those lines.
I don't really have a problem with Steph. Steph is not my issue. I mean, Steph, they had their thing going when they first won the title 3 years ago. LeBron came back and he had the Ultimate Warrior T-shirt and the Kermit the Frog sipping tea and the cookies. So I have no problem. The problem that I have is Kyrie.
Right.
Kyrie standing next to a guy keying. Yeah. The guy that kicked your butt in 5 games.
Right.
I'm not standing to you while
he.
Yeah. I'm not standing next to you while you try to clown. It might be your former teammate, but currently he is your teammate. I'm not standing next to you while you keying.
I understand where you're coming from because when you played, it was just a whole different type of mentality. Yeah. When we were you were enemies against your opponent. Yeah. Right this day and age, we're growing up at AAU when guys playing together and hanging out in the summertime. Guys are usually friends no matter what if we're competing against each other on and off the court. So. I mean, what you wanted to do, stop in and say, no, Steph, don't make fun of LeBron. He's my teammate. Or, like I said, I don't think he added anything extra to it besides.
Oh, he over there talking about.
He did what everybody else did.
Exactly.
He laughed.
Yeah.
He laughed. And like I said, I don't think it was, I don't think there was any harm behind it. I just think it was what happened and it was funny.
Dunk on him, Bron, like you did Jason Terry.
So, in your chalk talks, your pregame sessions, how much fear of LeBron did you feel among the Golden State Warriors in the final?
I mean, hands down, his reputation speaks for itself. To average a triple-double, what he did out there was amazing, but also with Kyrie's ability to score, they were a two-headed monster. We were really deep this year. We had a lot of different guys that can play a lot of different positions in guard. And, they just didn't have enough. But you can never downplay, his ability. And I think people get caught up so much in hating on him instead of sitting back and realizing you're witnessing history. He's going to be one of the best players.
Speak it, man.
But a lot of people do hate on him.
Yeah.
Well, we live in a world where it's okay to hate. We give people without a voice on social media a voice and a platform to express their opinion. You know what I mean? So if it was back in the day when you guys played, I'm sure a lot of people would have hated him or John Elway or Joe Montana.
You didn't hear it till you went to the arenas or the stadium. Right. But you said something very interesting, and I've been trying to get my counterpart here to understand. You said they were a 2-headed monster. You had a 4-headed monster. A hydra.
Well, in the end, they had a 1-headed monster named Kevin Durant, who just took over the finals.
But you make it seem like Steph ain't do nothing. Like Steph just ran.
I just think this is was a unique situation where we had so much talent and so many stars but everyone fell in line. There was no egos. You know, it wasn't about Kevin scoring 30 or Steph scoring 30 or Clay not even scoring sometimes because he's taking Kyrie out of the game or taking, you know, other point guards out of the game. This is a team where no matter what, we're going to win. It doesn't matter who scores. You know, obviously KD and Steph stepped up, you know, but Draymond was very important. Iguodala was important. Livingston, along the line, JaVale McGee. So it wasn't really about who was doing it. It's about we're going to do it together and we're going to get it done.
So you've been around long enough to have crossed over the very end of Michael Jordan.
Right.
So can you imagine during Michael's heyday, any other player on any other team mocking him publicly the way Steph and Kyrie dared to mock LeBron James?
I think it happened. There just wasn't camera phones around back then.
I don't know.
I think it happened. Like I said, and to your point, it was just a different era back then. It was a different era. This is a completely, I mean, this is the end of my, you know, I'm 37 years old, so I'm on the way out of it. But this AAU era is completely different from, I grew up in the 80s watching the Lakers and Celtics and watching, you know, football the way it was back then. And it's just different now. Everybody is friends. And I'm friends with people after the game. I'm not friends with nobody during the game except my teammates, but it's a different time now. So you can get mad about it or just accept it.
So what did you see from Kevin Durant in growth this year? Did you see a big growth, you know, like a maturity spurt?
I mean, always playing against him, he's always been a monster. You know, to be able to be 7 foot and play like a two guard is special. But just the way he embraced everything. He embraced the negativity, he embraced the love, he embraced the doubters, and he just went out there and played his game. And he and I talked a lot we'd hang out after every game, either eat or just hang out and talk about the game. And he just embraced the moment. I was happy for him because he took so much grief leaving to take less money to go to obviously the best team, but he took less money to win. And, you know, everyone's talking it's so money driven, but he took less to win. And, you know, it's a business when the NBA cuts you, trades you, or waives you, but you're a villain as a player when you take your future and your happiness in your own hands, and it's unfortunate.
I think the thing is for me is that it's the fans' fault because they criticize a player when you don't win a ring. When a guy goes to a team and he tries to win one, you say, what you do? Why you do that? You can't have it both ways. You can't say a guy isn't as good because he doesn't have a ring, and then once you get a ring, you try to cheapen it by saying, well, he joined up with 73 and 19. I did say that. But I had no problem with it. I had no problems with a guy leaving because I have no problem with a team because a team cuts you. They say, we're doing what's in the best interest for the team.
Right.
Well, Kevin Durant's a business.
Right.
He's a business unto himself, just like the Warriors are. And Kevin Durant says, I'm going to do what's best for Kevin Durant. Right. Regardless of what the fans in OKC thinks or around the NBA, what's best for Kevin? And what was best for Kevin and gave him the best chance to win a ring was going to Golden State.
No doubt about it. So, you are a UCLA man, and speaking of AAU babies, now comes Lonzo Ball to the Lakers, along with the whole package that is LeVar.
Give us your hell of a package.
It's a hell of a package. Give us your take on.
I love young Lonzo. I hope that he can step up, and you know, there's a lot of pressure. People understand that playing basketball in LA, there's just more than basketball. And then he's coming with a minivan hooked behind him. You know, so you hope that he can go out there and play and stay focused on what he has to do being a Laker. But I love the dad's antics and the promotion and keep it in the family and let's make all this money because that's what the shoe companies, everyone are doing. But I just don't like when he makes it about him. It's disappointing. You know, my kids love AAU basketball and they love the younger one that's in high school right now. And Dad, did you see his YouTube, this and that? When you click on and you watch that he's pulling teams off the court or yelling at refs, I can't complain because I yell at refs plenty of times, but you just can't make it about you. You know, it's about the kids when it comes to AU, and it's disappointing when he tries to make the spectacle about him and take all the attention. And what touched me was that he was doing the post-game interview and he saw his son with his head down. He wouldn't even look up. You know, so you know there's something going on there. But like I said, I love that he's promoting the family and the brand, and it's going to be a monster if they do well. But sometimes it's about the kids, and you just step back and let the kids take the forefront.
Well said.
That's and Skip and I have been his staunchest supporters, but he's making it real easy at the next stop for me to get off, because I mean the female, well, she just tried to build her name, and you know she was out of shape and she didn't know what she was. I'm like, dude, come on now, that's unnecessary.
It's too much, and he also doesn't realize what kind of target he's putting on his kids' backs. You know, he's gonna have people hating his kids before the kids even say a word or even shoot the ball, and it's all because of what he's saying and doing. Like I said, it comes from love, but he has to understand that it's a hell of a world out here, and the stuff you're putting out in the atmosphere is always going to be around, and your kids are always going to have to live up to that.
So what will Lonzo's impact be on the Lakers?
I mean, I saw Luke the other night at Trevor's wedding. I think Luke is going to, bring him along the right way, and I hope it's great. I'm a Laker. I grew up a Laker fan, so even though I'm not with the Lakers right now, it's still, you still want to see the Lakers do well and get back to where they belong. So I hope that he's, a piece of something that can get them back to prominence.
Well, we're going to leave it there, but check out Matt and Snoop at the 4th annual Celeb football game, Celeb vs. Cancer, and you can get events at eventbrite.com. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate
Are the Falcons suffering from a Super Bowl hangover? We'll discuss that next.